Today, I'm sitting here talking to my producer, and I'm talking to him. He got this thing with Isiah Thomas. Not the Isiah Thomas that you thinking about, not the Detroit Pistons, not the one who was on his one leg and he was dribbling. Not that guy. I'm talking Isiah Thomas, the 2016-17 stud for the Celtics. He wants me to compare Isiah Thomas to Jalen Brunson. But before I start, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. We want to keep boosting up the channel. And as you know, we get great guests, we get great videos, but we need your help. Let us know you like it. Like, subscribe, and share. Now let's get right into it. Jalen Brunson and Isiah Thomas is a good comparison in my opinion. The reason why I say that, because they kind of had the same responsibility as point guard. As we already know, Jalen Brunson is killing it. Right now, he's averaging 26 points in the playoffs. He took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. But so did Isiah Thomas. Isiah Thomas also took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. So let's start with comparing the stats. Now, when I say compare the stats, I'm not talking about their career average. I'm talking about their prime. And right now, in my personal opinion, Jalen Brunson is in his prime. In his prime, he's averaging 26 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. Isiah Thomas, in his prime, he's averaging 29 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. Makes it pretty tough. So now what do we compare the field goals? Field goal percentage is tough. 48% for Jalen Brunson, 46% for Isiah Thomas. From three-point land, 38% for Jalen Brunson, 38% for Isiah Thomas. Free throw. Now, this is where Isiah Thomas got him beat. 90% to Jalen Brunson's 82%. Like I said before, they both took their teams to the Eastern Conference Final. They both been two-time All-Stars. So we got to go deeper than the stats. And when I go deeper into the stats, now I want to think about responsibility. I want to think about who had to manage more as a point guard. I'm looking at the roster. I'm looking at the roster for the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics had Avery Bradley, Al Horford, Jay Crowder, Marcus Smart, a young Jaylen Brown, and a young Terry Rozier. That was their top 7, top 8 guys. Then I cruise on over to the Knicks. I got Jalen Brunson at 25, Karl Anthony Towns at 25, OG at 17, Josh Hart at 14, Mikal Bridges at 16, Miles McBride at 11, and Cameron Payne at 9 points. In my personal opinion, I gotta go with Jalen Brunson on that. Jalen Brunson gotta manage better scores. If you a real hooper and you get bucket, you know how it is to make everyone happy and still be the leading scorer as a point guard. Isiah Thomas was the leading scorer as a point guard. They referred to him to shoot the basketball. He didn't have as many killers as Jalen Brunson. So I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson on this. Who you got? Now for my next question. This one gets a little tricky. I don't hear his name enough when it comes to the best power forwards of all time. That's right. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Well, you know what I mean. Giannis. Now for the longest, it used to be Tim Duncan or Kevin Garnett. But I think Giannis took that second spot on my all-time power forward list. I got to give it to Tim Duncan. 2-time MVP, 3-time Finals MVP, 15-time NBA, and 15-time All-Defense selection. He did what he needed to do. Big fundamental. But then it gets a little sticky. Some people may say, what about Karl Malone? Karl Malone needed John Stockton. Don't get me wrong. Karl Malone was a scorer for a long time. He did what he needed to do in the 80s as well as the 90s. But he didn't win a ring. He got 2 MVPs. He been to All-Star a plethora of times. So did Garnett. Garnett got 1 MVP. Garnett got 1 championship. He been in a Defensive Player of the Year as well. But Giannis was Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season. I can't forget about Dirk. Dirk was an MVP before. Dirk won a championship. He's been All-Star. He can shoot better than Giannis. However, Giannis caused a lot of interruption. He caused a lot of havoc in the paint. He's going to get you some rebounds. He's going to get guys in foul trouble. And I see growth in his shot. I see growth in his skills. I don't think it'll ever get to Dirk. I don't think it'll ever get to Dirk's skill set. But Giannis, if I had to put a guy in the league who want to play some defense, Dirk not getting no defense. Got to take Giannis. And then don't start getting in my comments about Charles Barkley and all that. Charles Barkley was 6'6". Giannis is 6'10", and he lives to bang down low. Paul. But let me know who you got. Is Giannis number 2 on the all-time power forward list? Let me know in the comments. If you had to start a team with Jokic or Giannis? Who you got? I want you to put it in the comment. Personally, I'm going to go with Jokic. By the time both guys was drafted, the forwards started to stretch out to the three-point line. It was the beginning of the three-point era. I'm pretty sure Jokic didn't just develop this three. He was hitting threes of it in those workouts. The only concern I would have is just him and his body size at that time. He was a small guy. He wasn't as big. He wasn't as athletic. But the way the game was changing, there wasn't a lot of athletic bigs at the time. If you remember, Boogie Cousins, we wasn't the most athletic. Anthony Davis, he's athletic enough for the NBA, but he was skilled. Jokic was a skilled player. Giannis had a lot of upside and lived up to his upside, by the way. He won a championship and a dog for years. So was Jokic. Both won championship, a few more MVPs, but when it comes to impact on the game, they're both effective. So I'm going to go with Jokic for this segment of who you got. Now, my last question for who you got. This was a tough one, and I want to see is it tough for you guys as well. I got DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis in their prime. Now, I'm looking at the stats. It's tough. DeMarcus Cousins in his prime, 2014 to 2018, averaged 26 points. Anthony Davis, 2017 to 2020, 26 points. Rebounds per game, 11 for DeMarcus, 11 for Anthony. 4 assists for both Anthony and DeMarcus. Blocks, DeMarcus Cousins got 2 blocks. Anthony Davis got about 2.4. Steals, all the same. Now I gotta think, damn, what's the shooting percentage? Who was shooting better? DeMarcus Cousins shot 46% and Anthony Davis shot 51%. So we got him beat. Anthony Davis got him beat in the category. DeMarcus Cousins had 33% on three-point shooting. Anthony Davis had 34%. There was a slight edge there. DeMarcus Cousins, 75% at the free throw line. Anthony Davis at 80% from the free throw line. This was a tough one because I like Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis is a champion. Anthony Davis is still a premier player. I think he's going to have a great year with the Dallas Mavericks. However, I got to go with DeMarcus Cousins on this. The reason why I'm going to go with DeMarcus Cousins, I like his grittiness. I like that he's tough. He don't take no BS. I know what I'm going to get night in and night out. He put a lot of fear in a lot of guys in his prime. Anthony Davis, I got to think, who I'm going to get? I'm going to get the Anthony Davis who bang it down low, pause, or I'm going to get the one that's shooting a lot of jump shots. Who I'm going to get? DeMarcus Cousins made sure he came to play every night. Let me know who you got in the comment. Until next time, let's continue to think elite and together. Welcome to Score Society.